I have the other ones available in there.
Wait.
But
What? So, Luke, what are you drinking today? Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
Oh, you made a bow after that. Thank you. All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
I learned my lesson from last night. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day?
I'm going to do you a favor, James. As you say, later.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like one of our draw streams, smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Yes. Oh, man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. Pow! There we are, guys. It is Sunday. This means another episode of A Drink with a Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their hopes and their dreams and their lives, but also their books and their campaigns. Because, frankly, mainstream kind of lost me, mainstream entertainment, and indie is where the passion is, guys. All right, I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and a nice Sunday. I did nothing. So usually I have this update, things that I worked on. I mean, I have projects going on, but this weekend was like nothing. I didn't write anything. I had no contact with any one of the creative team, just nothing, and so tomorrow we will pick things up again, but sometimes you need to take a little break, do something else. Right. But I'm really glad to be here to do this with you guys, the weekly little show, talk with interesting indie creators and to talk to you guys. So let's see who's with me today in the chat. Let's see. TS Took. Welcome, TS Took. Welcome. Good evening this Sunday. Get the 6 packs of drinks of your choice out the fridge. Yes. Do that, guys. Your favorite drinks. Welcome, TS Took. Welcome, sir. Then we have Crenshaw. Welcome, Crenshaw. Hello, Dave, Carl, and chat pals. Welcome, sir, and thank you for sharing out the link on X. I saw that, so guys, let's share it out. Let's get some more people in, some more eyes on this little show and little book. We have a fantastic book we're going to talk about. A fantastic creator. Pops is in the chat. Welcome, Pops. Welcome, sir. Guys, we are broadcasting right now through the Madness Entertainment Group, so multiple channels. A growing platform, really, really cool. Welcome, Mike. Nice to see Mike. Good drink to you, Dave, and audience. -5 and hot chocolate here is better than yesterday's -25 and snow. That's nuts. Great to see Chubb back streaming properly. Yes, properly. I see what you did there, Mike. Yeah, it's really cold there, man. We didn't have any snow here. I heard from Pops that it was snowing in the United States, several areas there. We haven't seen any snow this year, but we did see a show, this one. Bernd, Scribe, welcome, sir. Welcome. How are you today? Nice to see you. The weekly show that could for 202 episodes and counting. Yes, all right. 202 episodes. That's nuts. That's 202 hours at the very least. So that's crazy, guys. It's really cool that I get to meet so many awesome people. It's a privilege, All right, which brings me to the guest of today. Some of you might know him, some of you might not. So, but this is a great time to get him, to get to know him, to get to know the good man. All right, do we have everything set up properly? I think that I do. I think that I do. Yes. All right, guys. Let's do this. Let's bring on the guest. May I have a very warm welcome for the guest of the hour, Mr. Karl Stephan. Whoa!
Hello.
Or is it Karl? Or is it Karl Stephan? How do you pronounce it?
I don't get hung up about the exact pronunciation. Call me what you will. But,
all right, that's Karl.
Volume up a bit.
How are you today, sir?
I'm all right. You know, just having a chill Sunday and everything.
Yeah.
Didn't leave the house, so that's a good thing in my book. If you don't have to get out of, I had to get out of bed, but I didn't have to do anything strenuous today. So, and you yourself, how's it there in the Netherlands?
Yeah, relaxed. It's relaxed today. Yeah, you know, sometimes I get, when I don't do anything, I don't know what your situation is, but when I don't do anything, sometimes you need to take a step back from working the entire time. But then I get anxious that nothing is getting done.
Yeah.
You know, so which is like, you have to balance these things, you know. Pop says, Karl.
It's like the time. Yeah, time is just at a premium. You know, you don't have time for anything. You're very conscious of it ticking away, and then you look and you see and you think to yourself, and you know, it's mind games too, where you just say to yourself, "Oh, I haven't done anything this last 6 months or something like that." You look at the pages you've drawn or whatever, and you're like, "That's nothing. That's nothing." You know, you break yourself down and whatever. Hey, Pops. Hello, chat.
Yeah. John's long box. He says hello from work. Thank you, sir. Thank you for dropping in.
Thanks, John. And I see there's Justin. I see there's Tom, and I see Crenshaw. I see lots of people here.
Yeah, a lot of cool people. Pop says you can also catch the show on Roku. Right. Cool. And Mike says, welcome back, Karl. It's been a long while. The last time you were here, it's like 2 years ago or something.
Something like that, yeah. This is what I was doing the previous, but I like you. What I really liked about your intro video, when you say in the end, I'm not a YouTuber. I just want to sell comics. I'm just exactly the same. I'm not even doing a show. That's the problem. You know, it's a different talent. It's a different aptitude. It takes time and, you know, and all that. And I find, that's.
I know. Some people have the talents to and make books and be like charismatic on streams. That's like, that's rare, you know.
Yeah.
They're lucky.
I'm quite unlikable in real life and online. I'm not charismatic.
Did you ever have your own show or your own channel?
It wasn't my own. It was with CG UK. We did Comics Gate UK. We did a show that was every week or so. We had a stream, and we did a lot of variety stuff on there. And it was great fun. It's just, but everybody's. It was during COVID. Everybody had lots of time, and let's do a show, and everybody made a lot of effort. But then when life started getting back to normal, that all just dropped off. You know, people focusing on their own things. People had kids. People just went on other adventures. Other people just disappeared completely. Don't know if they're alive or dead. But you know, the way of the world. The bargain bin. That's of course, Justin. The bargain bin, the other show.
The bargain bin.
We had two main shows in the UK, and Commie Mark show too.
All right, yeah. He's still going. I think the bargain bin is that still going on. Haven't seen that for a long time.
No, not that I know. No.
Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, but you still make comics, so you don't really do the YouTube thing, but you make comics. At least you try to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, you know, if I'm gonna have to have like a hierarchy of things that I do, I'd sooner make comics that do very badly. You know, that sell very badly, then do comics at a much slower rate. It'll sell much better because I do YouTube on top of it. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like I really enjoy doing comic books. In a sense, it's an itch that I got to scratch. If I don't, if it goes, I'm sure you're the same. But if things just progress too slowly, you start getting very, very frustrated.
Yes.
Like with this project, it's taken really long because I had to write. I'll get onto it. But anyway, it's taken a lot of preparation because it's a series this time. It's not just a single comic book.
Right.
But yeah, so it goes. Just reading what Justin's saying. Yeah, so Burn Scribe is saying no, it's finished. Rob and Dave and I had job changes, and Aria had a baby with his missus, so we don't have time to do it anymore. Yeah, adult stuff.
Yeah, things change, man. The indie comics landscape, this little landscape is very different than what it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody
was.
So, yeah. But yeah, I can get it when you get a little bit frustrated when it takes too long to produce a comic book. But on the other end, you kind of want to produce quality. You want to take your time to produce something worth waiting for. And you are your own show. You don't work with a creative team. You're it, right? So you do the writing, the art, you do everything.
The publishing too.
Publishing too, yeah.
Yeah, it's everything. Yeah, that's it. So I can't blame anybody when things go wrong. But on the other hand, no, you're right. I was thinking about this the other day with the speed things. Like, if you had to say work on a Judge Dredd strip or on a Marvel comic or anything like that, yeah, you get handed a script and you've got to produce it as an artist. But I was thinking to myself, I remember the old stories of Jack Kirby could knock out 7 pages in a day. I mean, you've heard all that sort of stuff. Like somebody else inked him most of the time. But I've actually broken that down and gone like, okay, but what if he had to write everything and script it? I know that there's this whole thing about him writing his stuff too, and do the marketing, and draw the covers, and do the colors.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, then it's like it slows down significantly. And then give him a day job on top. Then you can only do it in the afternoon.
Yeah. Because of family.
Yeah. That significantly strips it. I might be as fast as Jack Kirby for all I know, with all the additional sort of things I have to do to get this thing going. But
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been wondering sometimes if like we make like regular sized comic books, they're a bit more pages, but still, right? And then you have the actual professionals. They produce books every month, and I'm like, would we actually be able to do that? And it's baffling.
The thing is also though, a book comes out every month, but it's very often there's a rotating cast of artists and colorists. An actual. I don't. It used to be the case when artists would do a minimal of a page a day, given a script, convert that into a penciled page, maybe 2 pencil pages per day. That would have been like, okay, that would have been a good thing. And then you get throw it off to somebody else to ink. I mean, but these days you'll get like a set sort of mini series of comic books. It wouldn't just be rolling on. You'll have like 4, 5, 6, maybe a year, and then will be a break, and then some other team will take over for a while. So it's much more of a team effort there to keep that thing rolling on. And to be honest with you, sometimes I think it would be better for some of these titles just to slow down and just publish the really good stories and just leave out all the fluff, if you know what I mean. Because there's a lot of churn there that really doesn't need to be there.
This is true. There's a lot of fluff because they need to come up with something, but this sometimes creates like legendary characters that they have that they just came up with for that particular month, and these are like long staying characters like Dr. Octopus or something, So sometimes it has benefits. Mike says, Mr. Brink's a great creator. Oh, thank you. 2 humble creative men on screen right now. Wow, thank you so much, sir. Mr. Brink came on my show this year and it was a great episode. Oh, thank you.
I think Justin, your show was also the last one I was on. That was a while ago.
Yeah, baby comes in, previous life goes out. Yeah. Welcome, Gordon. Gordon, good brother. Welcome, sir.
Hi, Gordon.
It took me most of the year to write my current manuscripts. I've paused editing to watch this. Oh, thank you so much. Wow, that's excellent. So what's your history with your creative path? So did you have a creative profession, or is this your hobby? What's going on?
It's a hobby. I mean, what I've done. I think the only creative job that I really had, I worked as a comic book editor for a year at a London comic book publishing company, which is now defunct as far as I know. So there's that, and apart from that, I don't have any art training or anything to that effect. It's always just been a passion, wanting to tell stories rather than being put into some sort of box and say, okay, I'm just going to do the art. I'm just going to be a art artist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to just tell my own stories. And yeah, still trying to do that. I've gotten a book. I think the closest thing to being like a proper creator was when I got a comic book published overseas at Slave Labor Graphics, a graphic novel. This was quite a few years ago. I've got it somewhere.
Wow.
Okay, it would have been really handy if it was right behind me. I could just
So this means you worked from someone else's script. You were hired to draw the comic.
No. I wrote that thing too.
Oh, you wrote? Okay. Wow.
But I never really made it anywhere. And after that, it's just been crowdfunding.
How did that happen? That you got published with a story you wrote and drew?
It was a small publisher that I was always really into. That I always loved the stuff that they published. They did things like Lenore, the cute little dead girl. They did Johnny the homicidal maniac. Stuff like really quirky stuff. Milk and Cheese. Do I have a Lenore book? I've got a Lenore book. Yeah. There we go. That's handy. So they publish stuff like this. I think Lenore's published by Titan now.
Okay.
So, but originally it was published by Slave Labor Graphics, and just a lot of quirky sort of stories. So I thought the stuff that I'm not a superhero kind of guy. I'm more indie comics.
Yeah.
Which
is great.
Like Cerebus stuff. I love all the sort of more offbeat sort of thing. Sort of comics, and so I pitched and I got in somehow, which is a lot of work though. I think it was a 178-page graphic novel, which I did, and it was published all at once in one sort of book. And unfortunately, what I didn't like about it was it would have been nicer to have it in just individual issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a big boom publishing time, and then it just fell flat basically.
Right. So it's better to spread things out, so you get more. So you can build some sort of like rep with your title.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's normally how it works with American comics, like in indie comics too. I think it's Mango's to blame for this, that they publish these huge volumes every time, and Europe, but even the European bande dessinée, you'll find a series or like a one story, and it will be published in hardcover, in increments of 80 to 100 pages. That's what I've seen. So it isn't typically in one big sort of volume.
No. Oftentimes you have like these are separate stories. They have like the same characters, same world, but separate stories. So you don't even have to read them in the same order, which you see here. Let me see. AGE Comics, welcome, sir.
Hello.
Welcome. We are talking to Karl Stephan. And what are you drinking?
Just tea.
I completely forgot to ask that. Tea. Of course, tea. Of course.
In Britain, we drink tea.
Yes. Yes. So, what does the name CHOP stand for? Is that a acronym?
It's just basically it was a forum. I had a forum name. There was Chubby Bunny. Apparently, it's a game that they play in American schools where they stuff as many marshmallows into their mouths as they can, and to the point where they can't speak anymore. So they have to fill up their mouths with marshmallows and still be able to say the words Chubby Bunny. And apparently, some kids have died like that. And
Really?
being morbid and all that, I actually I used it as a forum handle for a while. And then when people met me in real life, they just called me Chub. So it kind of stuck as a nickname.
All right.
Yeah. And I was fat as a kid too, so it kind of all ties into.
Right.
I still have.
So you were published, but now you publish your own work, right? Yeah. So what are the biggest challenges or perhaps benefits with publishing your own work?
It's a double-edged sword. I think the biggest benefit is that you get to choose what you do completely. There's no editor telling you, "Ooh, you can't have that in a comic book." Mm-hmm. "Ooh, that woman's boobs are terribly big," and "Wow, you don't have enough female characters in this book," and "Wow, that's that sort of thing." So it's just like this is something I did experience when I did get my comic book published the first time. They did pick out a few things that that I felt didn't help. It wasn't in line with the character of the book. It was a very dark sort of comedy, with no redeeming characters whatsoever. And they insisted that I put in some redeeming female character to, and I was like, what? So I did it like an idiot. But I didn't feel as satisfied with the work in the end because it didn't make sense to me.
So you had the script. They read the script.
Yeah.
And then you started to draw. And beforehand, they kind of demanded that you put in this female character.
Yeah. Well, it was right at the beginning before they told me they'd published.
Right.
But it was like a condition. And I was like,
that sounds like difficult. You have like your own story structure going on, right? And then you have to squeeze in this extra character.
Yeah, or make her better than what she is, or whatever. But I mean, it's all very contrived, because sometimes a story is birthed out of you, and you don't have any control of how ugly your children are. But you still love them for being your children.
But they're your children, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Right.
Which is pretty much what this is. My 4 ugly little lads. They're hideous to everybody, I'm sure, but I think they are necessary. So these are some of the. I'm actually wondering. So this is the entire So this is the entire PDF. Okay, let me start at the beginning. The entire new comic book is finished. Reason being is I didn't want to rush it, do a campaign and then stress about getting it finished. And the missing a deadline and then having people messing me. Carl, where's my book? Where's my book? When am I getting my book? Because some people have absolutely ruined the social contract and crowdfunding by taking forever to fulfill their books, and I didn't want any part of that. So I just sat and I finished it, and now it's done. So this comic book, and also, which just to add to this, so this again is a series of 5 parts, and I thought, I want to do it in increments of 40 pages, and the last part will be about 60 pages. And I wrote out the entire series, and I thumbnailed it and lettered it beforehand, before I could start with this first part, which is why everything took me so long. But now we've finished drawing that first part, and now we can rock and roll. So yeah, let me see. So this first part, it essentially contains 2 stories, but they connect to each other, and everything converges at some point, and it'll make sense then. But the first story is a Christmas story. where Father Parish and the Merry Boys are having to do a Christmas gig because they're perpetually broke. They never have any money. For people who don't know who the Merry Boys are, essentially they are 4 skinhead characters living in modern day Britain. They are Catholic, and they've got these birth defects, the 4 of them, the quadruplets, whereby when they drink beer or any alcohol, it doesn't have to be beer specifically, but if they tend to drink beer, they get superhuman strength and speed, and so that's kind of their superpower. They're almost like Popeye, but instead of spinach, they have beer, and they were raised by this Catholic priest who has visions of an upcoming apocalypse, and the only way to stop the apocalypse is to redeem the town that they live in of all sin. So they essentially go and help people to be better people, mostly with violence. They're basically, they're basically 4 religiously indoctrinated boys going around committing acts of domestic terrorism.
Right.
That's the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
It's all. Sorry. Yeah.
For the greater good.
For the greater, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some.
For the kind of heroes, Yeah.
You can kind of argue this is kind of crowdfunding, but sin and crowdfunding, they do overlap at some point. So that's how it works.
Yeah.
So,
we're still waiting for 3 books that are years late. Yeah, some books are really late, man.
Yeah, man. I know. I didn't want to be part of it.
So you've drawn 40 pages
of this new series.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
wow.
So just to recap on what we've done so far. So my first campaign was basically like the first 2-issue story that I did of the Merry Boys. This was the origin story.
Cool, man.
It did quite well. And then following up from that, I did another comic book, which is an anthology called Beefheads, which has got 4 self-contained stories featuring the boys. And yeah, this was the last one that I did. And now the new one, I'll show you some more pages from that. So this carries on, but now it's kind of like Act A. The first act is kind of drawing to a close, and now we can start with a story that's going to have more long-term ramifications for the boys, and they're going to be tested in a big way in this new story. So yeah, that's how can I say? So I can give you a brief synopsis of what happens in this story. So essentially, their town becomes a mini police state, which is kind of it's a commentary on what's happening in the UK at the moment. I don't know if you watch the news, but it's commentary on the COVID lockdown, the neo police state we've got going on now, and a few other things, which will all come to bear in time. But there's a lot of character development. I really punish my characters in this story. It isn't, at some point, you can only write so many stories where your character goes out, does what they're meant to do, and comes out relatively unscathed because there's no transformation. There's no arc, so to speak. And this is something.
Plus, it's also very difficult for long-term series to keep this arc going. You can't put characters through arcs constantly, right?
No, you're right, because it's going to be too much for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have little short Fantastic Four-esque sort of one and done sort of stories from time to time.
Yeah. So these books you write, these stories, is there one long through line, or can you read them all separate with the same characters and basically the world stays relatively the same?
I would say, well, for example, this first series, you would have to read 1 and 2 together because they're part 1 and part 2 of the same story.
Right.
Beefheads, you could read on its own. You don't need any prelude really. You can enjoy each story as it is. But this one, yeah. So this will be the arc.
Right.
And after this, and the thing, and after this arc is finished, things will have changed, and they will not have gone back to being the same way that what they were.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's that. There's some permanent sort of changes
Interesting.
that will happen there.
I love this art, man. Did you go to school to draw?
No.
All self-taught?
Self-taught.
That's incredible.
I
How did you
think-
do that? Did you learn from particular people or books or comics or?
Yeah, just reading comic books. At one point, I mean, I've got a career in the legal industry, actually, funnily enough. And at one point, I did want to leave and do something completely different. And I did a concerted effort of giving myself some sort of basic artistic education, composition, design, color theory, everything that I would think should have gone into some sort of art course. I basically taught myself. So that was it. So basically self-taught. Of course, I've got my favorite artists that I draw inspiration from. And that, yeah. So it's just hook 'em by crook. I think this late, I like to think that there's like an upward trajectory. Every time I do a new comic, it is a little bit better because I will, I'll take criticism at the end and say, okay, tell me specifically what you thought of this and this and that, and then I will build up and eventually I think, I would say this comic is probably like the closest to how I've wanted to represent the characters, since it started. So I'm very happy with how things are going.
Do you mean art-wise?
Art-wise, yeah. Art-wise,
Right.
and I think story has improved a lot too because I've kind of it takes a lot. I had to do a lot of self-study on how to do proper arcs as well, and wrestle with that. Before I was confident enough to say, okay, I can handle this, and I can put it all together.
Wow.
So every time it's been like a leap going forward, and I think people who've liked the first two outings will absolutely love this too, and where it's going.
Do you get like feedback before you start drawing? Do you have like proofreaders or something?
I've got my wife who's
Yeah.
who's a linguist, and she does editing and stuff. So she
Oh, really?
she goes through that. Not a structural edit, mind you. I mean, she wouldn't comment on how things should be paced or how
Sure.
or anything like that. So that goes down to me. Unfortunately, like, I mean, it would be nice to get some insight into that, but at the same time, I'm very, I don't want to get anybody else sort of involved. I'm afraid that somebody will say something I don't like, and I'll get it.
Yeah,
I'll do
know.
it anyway. So it's one of
Yeah.
those.
Mike says, Burnscribe, thanks for reminding me to post my monthly plea in the comments section to Shelby Robertson on 94 Ragetality, so-called campaign. Yeah, that's a shame, man. It's a shame. Yeah, it's quite the what do you call it? Responsibility when you like start a campaign, you start collecting money.
Yeah. I feel
It's
like
like a
I've got-
job,
I feel like I owe people money. it's it's like you're on the hook to produce this comic book now, and it doesn't matter what life throws at you. In the meantime, you've got to do it, and it's just my life is stressful enough as it is. That's a good
Yeah.
question. I love Jamie Hewlett. Absolutely love his stuff. I've got a lot of his collections.
Oh.
This is quite a good collection of his work, to be fair. This Taschen
Oi.
collection. Let me just
Look at
find-
that.
I was a bit annoyed because there's actually a bigger version of this book that I wasn't aware of, and I got
Oh, there's an even bigger version.
Yeah, a really big sort of like it's this thick, but it's about A4
Yeah.
in format, and I wish I'd gotten that one. But
Awesome.
Philip Bond too. Yeah, I like his stuff too. And Jack Davis, and a whole store of 2000 AD. I love Mike McMahon. Loads of these good stable brush and pen ink artists. Yeah, Taschen books are great. There's a I think Taschen are reprinting the old EC comics at the moment in these big collections, and I'm keen to get some of those. Definitely.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So you have your own concept, the Merry Boys. So this is basically your thing, right? The Merry Boys. Are you planning like to do this for many years? Like you have 5 issues planned for this series, you said. After that, do you want to keep going with Merry Boys?
The thing is, I've got so these 5 issues are in concrete. Everything is done story wise and lettered and all that sort of thing. After that, I've got another arc, which is going to be a little bit shorter than this one. When they go to London for something,
right?
And after that, I don't know. Then it starts getting more vague. Then I'm like, I could end it there, or I could carry on with it, and I can do more self-contained, like short sort of stories. Ashley Wood, I really like as well. Yeah, I've got a big collection, but for Merry Boys, I don't see any room for an Ashley Wood sort of thing to sort of pull in. I've got another project that I've been doing in the background, which is a lot more like that sort of experimental, a completely different sort of story.
Right.
That I'd like to take inspiration from Ashley Wood. Full Hail, Ashley Wood, those guys. I just love like that painterly sort of style to comics and covers.
Yeah, your approach is you draw traditional, correct?
I drew everything up to this comic traditionally, and now this one is digital.
Oh, really?
I got this clip. I never thought I'd do this, but I got one of those huge, graphics tablets, those display tablets.
Yeah.
And I got Clip Studio, and because with digital stuff, to me, it was always a case of I could tell it's digital when I looked at it. Because there wasn't any texture. Well, there was texture, but not enough to fool me on the brushes. Just a whole bunch of things, and then I got this very sort of specialized brush pack, and I started drawing this stuff, and I was like, damn it, I couldn't tell the difference at all, and it's just convenience. I just went with it. There's some stuff I drew traditionally for this comic, but the heavy lifting, the panel, all the interior pages are all now Clip Studio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I also really like applying tone, dot tone to my stuff. And it's so easy when Clip Studio, because I figured I would have to draw pages traditionally, scan them in, and then apply the dot tone digitally anyway. Then it's like you're doing all this digitally, you're lettering digitally. You may as well do the whole thing and just save yourself some time. But
yeah, it's a little bit more convenient, right? Do you ever go to conventions to show your stuff?
Not really.
No.
No. I mean, it's. I find that comic book conventions here aren't really all that much about comics anymore. It's
okay.
It's movies and anime, merchandise, and some collectible comics when like a speculators sort of stuff. Awesome. Yeah,
Gordon has issue 1 and 2, and he'll probably grab the shirt before too long.
Excellent. Yeah, we're still selling these. Yeah, I've printed out quite a few of them. It was really funny. I actually got this shirt on BBC News once. Not on the news, sorry, but on there was a show. It was a gardening show. Funnily enough, a friend of mine's daughter was going to be on the show, and I quickly gave her a T-shirt. And then somebody else, who didn't know this was going to happen, saw this and screenshotted and sent it to me. So yeah, got Merry Boys merch on BBC. Wow,
that's great.
Obviously, don't vet their stuff. Obviously, don't. So
you didn't get a sudden spike in sales after that?
No. I don't think there's much crossover between people into gardening and or maybe like it was somebody knows.
Yeah. Welcome, Marinus. Welcome.
Marinus, hello.
Yes, guys. yeah, it says Dark Side Comics, but his channel is now called Cosmonaut Comics. Go subscribe for daily comic book reviews. Right. Yeah, fantastic art.
I can show you some more. Yeah, let me show you some more.
Yeah. If you can, you can show us whatever you want to show us.
Let's see. I don't want to go too many pages of this.
This looks great.
But let me let's skip to the first page of the next. Like I said, there were 2 stories here, and this is the first.
Love that that loose style. Everything is like works with perspective, and still it's very like loose.
That's what I like. I like Geordie Burnett a lot too. You know, they're really scratchy. I don't know if you're familiar with him. They're really sort of very cinematography and composition is perfect, but the line is loose and dirty and visceral. You know, I love that sort of thing. And and the things with the program, this looks. I mean, it does look very, you know, like it could have been done with real media. You know, if I look over there, well, I would think so. I wouldn't look too deeply on that. And of course, yeah, it's there's some Mad Magazine vibes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely, man. Wow.
Some yeah, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this because I have them fight Antifa in this comic, which is going to be quite hilarious. But yeah, no, we see.
You draw from real life, right? So,
yeah, no, absolutely.
So this series, basically, you can put anything in there that's like that.
Yeah, I mean, if this was any sort of indie comic, then the people who were the editors would probably all be members of Antifa, and they would never let me publish this. So, you know, so there's no good. I do stuff that I find amusing, and I just and sometimes, you know, just having worked in a comic book editorial capacity, I know what it's like. How everything you can have an amazing idea, and then you can have somebody a little higher up just kicking your idea the feet from under it, and it'll never happen. And it's so.
Yeah, the less people involved, the more your own vision keeps intact.
Yeah.
The closer you are to your own vision. Mike says, I watched 2000 AD's recent convention clips.
Okay.
One of the conventions?
Okay.
It's called 2000 AD? I don't know.
Maybe Lawless. I think Lawless happened earlier this year, and I think they were there. But they do 2000 AD do a lot of videos on creating. I think they did Simon Bisley not so long ago. A lot of create. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I do. It's still one of my favorite. You know, especially the first 10 years of 2000 AD is just it's untouchable. Cool, mate. Yeah. No, we still got a few. And at some point, we should probably do a new shirt. You know,
people like the shirt, man.
It's got this punk sort of thing. I mean, I love hardcore punk, the early 1980s sort of vibe, and a lot of the aesthetics come from oi and punk and stuff for the Mary Boys, which I think just fits it.
People want to see some violence. Yeah, but it looks great. What's your process when you lay out this page? You have the script, you have a particular scene. Do you break it down in pages and then pages in panels, or what's your process?
It's I don't know. It's weird because the words and pictures kind of rock up together for me in a way. So I'll have, you know, right at the beginning I'll have a very sort of loose sort of idea, not very loose. I'll know how a story will be. I know the beginning, middle, and end to a story. Say if I took not for the series, but say if I had a self-contained 20-page story, I'll know with the beginning, middle, end, and then I will basically write in description of what happens when, so that you know there's causation going through it. Typically, I will have some, you know, scenes that I really want to happen, what I want to throw in. Sometimes a scene will come before the actual story itself, you know, and then I will have to work it in there. Right, and then I will take a really big sort of page and I will just thumbnail the whole thing out very roughly, and it won't really make much sense. And then I will do another pass of thumbnails, and then another pass, and then break that down into pages so that the end of each page will want you to turn the next page. So it'll have like a, there's a flow going through. I can't really. It's hard to explain. But
Yeah.
I've got it. I've got it.
Yeah, you have some sort of rhythm going on with your story. Yeah. Karl does some pretty drawings of ugly people, says Granshaw. Doing stuff that you find amusing produces the funniest comics humor. Karl, Alan Moore, Keith Giffen.
Yeah.
To name some.
Yeah, you can't walk on eggshells when it comes to humor. You can't. You got no control about what you find amusing.
Yeah, this is true.
If it was a sexuality, people would defend it. You got no control over what you find sexy.
Yeah. You have to. As a creator, you can't listen to. You have to listen to people who actually buy your books. But not to people who want to change everything. You have to make what you like. Otherwise, what's the point?
I know. And this is the thing with indie comics. The one strength. I mean, mainstream comics have got higher production values. The good guys who sit there all day, and this is their professional sort of thing. They've got marketing people trying to sell, the book all over the bloody show. The only benefit that an indie comic has is that it can do what it wants, and it doesn't have to go for the widest possible market. So you can go with that niche idea, and you should. You absolutely should do that. That's what I think.
Yeah, man. And you got your own little particular. When people see this, the Merry Boys, it has this particular style that's only you. Just you. You're the one who can think these stories up. Imagine humorless sex.
Yes,
yeah.
Funny.
Right. Yeah. It looks great. You have your pre-launch page right now on Indiegogo. So it went through the changes that Indiegogo went through, right?
Yes, I've got to figure out how to use Indiegogo again, because I don't know if you've looked at this, but the platform is completely different. And also another thing I've noticed that they've done is that you can't use those email addresses. If you do a mailing list on Indiegogo, you used to be able to see who signed up.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just got a tally of how many likes it has, which I'm assuming is from the mailing list, and they'll get notified when you launch. So so it's a different sort of approach completely, and I'll still have to look at all that, I'm afraid. But
but people can sign up. They can get notified. When will you launch? When will this book that you're showing right now go live, the campaign?
1st of February, and the reason for that is because Christmas is coming and nobody's going to have any money to buy any comics now, and January is going to be when everybody's suffering from the festive season, blue January. So I think it's all done. I can now sit back. Well, I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to start working on the next part now. From now until then, and I'll be able to. I figured I could start talking about. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Those people are going to get confused. But yeah, I'm going to work ahead and get that done as soon as I can.
Right. Yeah. So people can subscribe, guys. I put the link below this video. There's also a link to your website, Proper Comics. People can also check that out if they want.
Propercomics.co.uk. That's correct.
Exactly. So you can get notified once the campaign goes live, and then the campaign runs for like a month, and then after that you will start fulfillment.
Yes.
What's the plan?
Yeah. As soon as I get enough money comes in, and as soon as they pay, as soon as the money is released, boom, I'll have the print file ready and everything to go by then. So it'll just be the time it takes to print, pack, and post. Print, pack, and post. Boom.
And Mike says, always been subscribed to this mailing list.
We did lose the mailing list at some point.
Oh no.
So we
Yeah.
had to start again, but everybody I think signed up again. But yeah, just in case, just make sure that you just all signed up.
T.S. Luke says, this is what we need, showing the streets of England as it is without corp burn suckers sugar coating it. And besides, Antifa are probably owned by government anyway.
Oh,
All right. All right. Right. Yeah.
there you go. I mean, it's different. I don't think there's any other comics like this in the UK at all. I haven't seen anything similar to this or vaguely in the same sort of mindset as this coming out from the UK.
Wow.
So if there is a niche for this sort of stuff, I'm fulfilling that niche. That's what I'm doing.
You ship your books worldwide?
Yeah.
All right. So if you're from the United States and you want this book, subscribe to his upcoming campaign, guys. It's not anyone's fault here, but logging into Indiegogo is a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a completely different site. It's really strange.
The one good thing though, during the previous ownership, there was, I don't know if you heard about this or experienced this, but there was the shadow banning going on.
Yeah.
From a lot of projects, and I think they did it because they were trying to find a buyer and they were hiding the more objectionable,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was because the thing is, if they buy somebody who's got funding, who gets ESG sort of preference, and a lot of their funding is going to rely on that ESG sort of score. They're not going to buy a company that has non-ESG sort of position sort of publications on it isn't going to be as favorable to that purchaser. So I think that's just my sort of feeling on why there was shadow banning. But I've been keeping an eye on they've been bought by a Polish gaming company whose name I briefly forget. But ever since then, I don't think there's been any shadow banning. From just looking at reports for people who have launched and all that, I haven't heard any sort of noises on that.
Okay.
So I'm hopeful that'll be good, because I mean I like FundMyComic too, but you don't get the same traffic over there.
No, this is this is true. Will you bring this to FundMyComic?
I think I will afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, for people who hate Indiegogo, you don't want to support them in any way.
Yeah. Indiegogo might have lost some backers there. Let's see if I missed anything, guys. Fulfilling the niche of stripper stars over a winged coat's nipples in the previous image, and that's just for IGG's sake.
Yeah, I'll take the stars off the nipples of the Baphomet.
Yeah, they shadow banned my American Blitz comic when it was on, and no one ever told me why. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I also support Karl wherever. I'm just wary of Indiegogo. Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome some person. I heard it was Krampus night of the 5th in Germany.
Is it?
On the 5th.
Is it? All right.
Did you see any Krampus parades? Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. But I mean,
Krampusnacht.
Yeah, Krampusnacht. They should bring the Krampus back, to be fair, into popular culture, into shopping malls and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, it looks great, Karl. You have a unique style, you have a unique title. Like there are like I make superhero comics, which kind of plays in like a popular thing, and you actually have your own style, your own thing going on, very, very indie, and we appreciate that, man. It's unique,
All corners need to be covered. I mean,
yeah, that's the fun thing of indie comics. You can do whatever you want, so there's something for everyone, right?
Yep, absolutely. I've got another idea. I've always wanted to do horror comics, and I've got an idea for a long form horror comic, and I'll do that straight after Merry Boys. But yeah, also just completely different. It's a take on an established character, which is in the public domain, but the angle is completely, nobody's done anything like that before. So, you know,
Oh,
because
that's
I mean, normally okay, I'll say it's a Dracula comic, but, and I know how bad that sounds. Every time somebody does their own version of Dracula, it's like, oh, you know, it's, you know, it falls into a certain pattern that you recognize instantly, you know, and this is something totally different. Something
okay.
So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Curious. Do you think you need to find a way to change the style, or does your current art style fit that horror?
It's going to be a bit different. It's going to lean
right.
into more. I mean, it's going to. I'd like to think, and I'll try this. I'd like to take a little bit more from Ashley Wood, Geordie Bernay, Milt Caniff, Hugo Pratt, sort of more like Hugo Pratt, sort of, or like stylistically making it a bit more arty, if you know what I mean.
Right.
That's the sort of feel that I have. But yeah, we'll see. I'm looking really forward to that. Once, I don't know, if I hit the lottery, and I don't have to have a day job anymore, and I can do this full time, then I could split up the day, do Merry Boys during the day, do other stuff at night. That'd be great.
That would be great. People just need to support you, man. So you can live the dream, you know. All right, guys, go sign up to Karl's upcoming campaign. The link is below. It's also pinned in the chat on my own channel, and you can visit the proper comics website. It's also below. And if people want to follow you, Karl, well, where can they find you?
I'm on Twitter, basically only. Oh, okay. There's a Facebook. There's a Merry Boys Facebook page that's Monica, my wife, runs. I'm on Twitter at MerryBoys1. That's my handle. I'm on Blue Sky, but only so that nobody else creates a Blue Sky account with my stuff on it. And that's pretty much it. You know, I should probably
you're on Blue Sky.
You're on Blue Sky, yeah. I don't know. It's
well,
got its own character, doesn't it?
Welcome, Quantum Age Comics. Welcome.
Hello.
Those are some lofty goals, says Gordon.
Yeah, boy can dream.
Gotta have goals, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you need to do your marketing, so you need to go wherever you need to go. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. No, well, thank you very much for inviting me. It was nice.
Yeah. You're very welcome, man. It's you are a fantastic artist. It's always good to see you working on some new material. People seem to really like your series, Merry Boys. So keep going, man. It's really cool. All right, guys. Before we close off, guys, I have my own campaign going on. I like to share that for a moment. It's something completely different. This is superhero stuff. So if you like 90s American superhero comics, you know, this is the kind of books that I like to produce, only with better stories. So Safeguard issue 1 is the first full superhero team book from Jamin Comics. We made some shorter team stories for the Power Trips series, right? But this is a full series with art by Alan Goldman. So this is nuts. So me working with Alan Goldman, I never dreamt this would happen. It's so phenomenal, guys. So we have cover A. Cover A of this series is drawn by Alan, inked by Thiago Gomez, and colored by Brian McNaye. And then we have the B cover, of course, by Paul Rodriguez, who is the artist on the Perfect 10 series, right? By the way, you don't need to read the Perfect 10 series to follow this series. This is a fresh start, a completely new book, right? And this is drawn by Pau and colored by Daniel. And we have a pencil edition, so without all the inks, the colors, so you can marvel at Alan Goldman's raw pencil art. It's really fantastic, guys. So if you like superhero comics, you will like this. It's the kind of stuff that I like to read. So these are villains. This issue, it took us months, guys, to develop these characters, these villains, get them right. We changed some up. We removed some, put in some new ones. So we finally got the team as we wanted them. I love these designs. I love these characters. This is colored by Federico Thiok. He have some examples of the interior art. Yeah, I'm so proud of this, guys. So this is basically, so right now we are finishing Perfect 10 issue 6, right? And this book comes after Perfect 10 6. So if you finish that, you could start here. And it's really cool to see other artists draw these Perfect 10 characters, in different styles. Really cool. So anyway, these heroes, they are like dispatched because there's some trouble at a museum, the Hall of Antiquities, it's called. And what's going on there? Look at this art, guys. This is phenomenal. Some more interior work. It's a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And Alan Goldman is also offering personal character commission. So you can, so any character you want to request, Alan will draw for you. And this commission, you will get a high-res scan, plus you'll get the original art, and it comes with all the books. I will sign the books also. So yeah, and the link to this campaign is also below. Go share it out, guys. We have 1 week left. 1 week. We are now 194%. So can we get to 200%? Let's try. Let's try, guys. 1 week to go. All right, remove. I'm always so terrible at promoting my own stuff.
Tell me about it.
It's like, yeah. Right. Karl, thank you for being my guest for today, for showing us your art and your upcoming campaign. Good luck with that, sir.
Thanks for having me.
So what will the launch be? Will you be launching on a live stream? Do you have a plan for that?
I have to figure that out. I have to ask around and see where I'll be launching. I think. Oh wait, I've actually spoken to somebody about this already. Yes. It was a couple of months ago, but yes, I've got a plan. Yeah, all will be revealed. Yeah, it would be great to have a physical launch one day, but I guess it'll make sense after you've had everything printed up. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Right. All right. Wait, did I miss anything? Was go with this. Wait, hopefully 10 won't be sent to hunt down the Merry Boys. That will be interesting. That will be interesting, man.
Yeah, I always wanted to see. Well, yeah, I mean, there's sort of arguments I have when this character can beat the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How strong are they?
They are. You know who Eddie Hall is? He was world's strongest man at some point. They're probably about as strong as him, even though they need about.
Right. So not superhuman, but like top level human.
Considering they're about 5 foot tall and very skinny, and so it's freakishly sort of. It's only when they drink alcohol, and they're as fast as Usain Bolt. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility, but yeah. So when 4 of them are descending on you, they'll beat the hell out of Batman, definitely. without
Oh,
prep
yeah.
time. Definitely.
With
He's
prep
got it.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, they'll glass him and smash him up.
yeah.
There's no chance. Sorry.
All right. All right, Karl. Thanks again. And special thanks to the chat. Thank you so much, guys, for showing up, for the questions, the interaction, and the like. So if you like this conversation, give it a like. If you didn't like the conversation, give it a dislike. And I'm very sorry. I'll be back next week, next Sunday. So same channels, so the multiple channels, same time, new guest, right? So in the meantime, have a fantastic week, guys, and see you later.
Bye-bye. Cheers, guys.